Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff, and I wanted to take a minute to make a video and share with you so many ideas for our new Gilded Leafing product in our new mini catalog. My most recent video that I shared was an introduction to this Gilded Leafing. You can look it up. It's called Beautiful Gold Accents for Your Projects with Stampin' Up! Gilded Leafing. And that's going to introduce you to how to use this really neat stuff to add beautiful gold accents to your project. So in that video, I talked about how to use it. You start with an adhesive, and I'm going to share in this video lots of different ways, lots of different adhesives that you can use. Then you apply this to it, and then you have to remove the excess. So I shared some tips for the ways I found that I really think work best for that. And then I also shared some tips, like I mentioned. So after I did that, I started thinking of all these ways that I could use it. And actually, I shared some of these in that video. But I wanted to go through today and explain. I have 15 different ways to give you some ideas of how to use this Gilded Leafing. So we are going to get started. I think this is the neatest product, and I just couldn't contain my ideas, so I thought I would get them organized and share them all with you. So, as I was experimenting with this, and as you're experimenting with this, think about two different things. One is which adhesive you're using to hold the Gilded Leafing, and the second one is what are you applying it to? Are you applying it to paper, your card base, a die cut, a punch, or something else? So as we go through, you're going to get lots of ideas for playing around with this. So my first idea for using this Gilded Leafing is to use MultiPurpose Glue to apply accents to stamped images, or you could use this on designer paper, lots of different ways. But what I did, and I showed this in my first video, I just applied a little bit of this glue to certain portions of this stamped image. Same thing on this cute little ice cream cone, and I set it aside to let it dry. And once it was dry, it is still tacky, so that is when I applied the Gilded Leafing and got these pretty accents on these images. The stamps I used for these, all of the products I used for this are in our upcoming mini catalog being released on January 5th, 2021. So the stamps I used on these were Art Gallery and Sweet Ice Cream. My second idea for how to use the Gilded Leafing is to apply it using glue dots. So glue dots come on a roll like this. They're pre-sticky, already dried glue dots. So what I did for this card, which I also made using the Art Gallery stamp set, I applied the dots to this strip of crumb cake cardstock. And then after I had them all on there, I applied that Gilded Leafing, removed the excess, and have these really pretty gold polka dots on here, which I really like how that turned out. My third idea for how to use the Gilded Leafing is to use tear and tape adhesive. So on this card, I applied strips of our tear and tape adhesive at different distances apart. As you can see, as I went across the card, I put these farther apart. Once I had all my strips on, I put this into my container of Gilded Leafing, applied it, and we have the result you see here, which I really like how that turned out. I think you can make all kinds of pretty cards with cute stripes on them with the tear and tape. Okay, my next one is going to be ideas 4 and 5. So this is it. I made this using that Sweet Ice Cream stamp set again, and I used adhesive sheets this time. So I'm walking through a lot of our different adhesive products, and some of these you may not have even realized we had. So adhesive sheets are designed that you can put them on the back of cardstock, and then you can die cut or punch them. And then when you remove the paper backing, it's basically like a big sticker. So it makes it really easy to apply detailed pieces to your projects. So for this, I used the punch, the ice cream punch that goes with the Sweet Ice Cream set, and I punched out a piece from the adhesive sheets. I applied it to my project, then I laid it in that Gilded Leafing and applied it that way. So that's an idea for using with punches and the adhesive sheets. Now keep in mind, you could use the adhesive sheets with die cuts. You could use punches with different adhesives. There's so many ways to mix and match these, but just to keep it organized, we'll go with that for now. So next, ideas 6 and 7 are to use our foam adhesive sheets and die cuts or dies. So here is my sample for this, and I have to move this around to try to help you get an appreciation for the fact that this is 3-dimensional. This is our foam adhesive sheet that is basically like a big sheet of our foam dimensionals, and it is made so that you can die cut and make things pop up on your projects. So I just die cut this. This is the new die set that goes with the art gallery stamp set that I've been showing you. I die cut this piece that says "just want to say." I applied it to my project, removed the paper backing from the top so that the top was sticky, and then I put that gold leafing, the gilded leafing, over the top and applied it to this. Now for these, it definitely wanted to stick to the edges, and you can still probably see it's still a little bit rough around the edges, but I really like how this looks, and I think there's a lot of potential for using this with a lot of different Stampin' die sets. Next, ideas 8 and 9 are to apply the gilded leafing all over, either on your card or on a piece of cardstock. And then number 9 is to actually emboss that afterwards. So I began by putting adhesive all over this piece of cardstock. And the way I did that was with my silicone craft sheet and a sponge, and this is still covered in glue, you can probably see, but I put some of that multi-purpose glue on here. I spread it out, got a thin layer on this sponge, and applied it all over this piece of cardstock. Now this was before my card was attached together, of course. After I had glue all over the whole thing, I set it aside, I let it dry. Once it was dry, I applied the gilded leafing, remove the excess, and then I embossed it with this beautiful new seashells embossing folder. So you can apply it all over a piece. It would have been gorgeous if I just left this flat on the background of my card, maybe added a little bit more detail besides the little tiny greeting. But you can also emboss as well. So I love how that turned out. Number 10 is to use the same sponge and silicone craft sheet along with a mask to end up with a pattern on your background. So I applied the glue over this mask. I did it the same way, got a little bit on my craft sheet, rubbed it around. I taped this, I'm not sure where that lines up, but I taped it together on the back side using some removable tape. Did some gentle sponging. After I was done with that, I set aside and let it dry before I applied the gilded leafing. So with masks and stencils, you could really make some really neat things using this technique. Number 11 is to actually have a stamped image covered in this gilded leafing. So this one I made using our Touch of Ink stamp set. This is one of our new Celebration reward items. So between January 5th and the end of February, you can earn free items for spending $50 or more. So this is one of the items you can choose if you purchase $100 or more. And it's got really neat two-step stamps in it. The butterfly, the hummingbird, some leaves. So how I created this card, I stamped the background of the butterfly first. After that was dry, I stamped the detail of the butterfly with some Versamark ink. And you do this basically the same way as you emboss, as you heat emboss. So I stamped it with the Versamark, but then instead of sprinkling embossing powder over the top, I used our new heat and stick powder, sprinkled that over, shook off the excess. I heated it up just like if I was heat embossing my project. And then when I was done, when it was melted, I took it right away before that powder dried or hardened up, put it in my gilded leafing, and attached it that way to a stamped image. So that's a really neat way to use this gilded leafing with your stamps. Got a few more here. Number 12 is to make a shaker card with it, okay? Anytime we have little pieces of pretty things, it's fun to make shaker cards with it. So again, I used that art gallery stamp set on this one, but I thought that turned out really pretty. Number 13, we're going to start thinking about how to use this on things besides paper. So here I actually put a little bit of multi-purpose glue on my ribbon, let it dry, and then applied some gilded leafing to that to add some gold accents to the bow. Number 14 is similar, but on this one I used it on an embellishment. This is one of our little wooden embellishments that is so pretty, but I thought it fit in a lot better with this card once I applied the gilded leafing. So again, with this one, I added a little multi-purpose glue, let it dry, and then put that gilded leafing on. And number 15, I don't have any samples, but I just wanted to mention it to get you thinking, because this can be used in so many different ways besides on your card projects and on your paper projects. So think about decorations you have in your house, picture frames, things you have sitting around that would be a little bit prettier if they had a little touch of gold added to them. So picture frames are a great idea in decorations, but I'm sure there are other items as well. Maybe you have some cheap jewelry sitting around that you wish was gold instead of a different color. Hey, the sky is the limit with this gilded leafing. So I hope this video gives you some ideas for where to start. I can't even fit all my card samples in here. I have so many, but I hope this gives you some ideas for where to start on how to use this product. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I would love to answer them. You can begin ordering this through me. You can find an ordering link in the video description. You can begin ordering this on January 5th. So please let me know if you have questions. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again next time.